Hi and welcome to Barry Harris Applied. On Barry Harris Applied, we'll be implementing the concepts that we went through in the masterclass review series to analyze, to re-harmonize, and to improvise. Today we'll be looking at this beautiful song, the Christmas song by Mel Torme, also known as Chestnuts. And we'll be re-harmonizing this already rich, well, harmonically rich composition. And we'll be using the family of dominants. I encourage you to review our masterclass or to look at our masterclass review videos that dealt with the diminished seventh, the foundation, its origin and derivatives. I'm going to put a link in the description below. So we'll be using the family of dominants, and we'll also be highlighting the dominant seventh, Barry Harris dominant seventh diminished scale. Some of the chords that are not very popular, I'm just going to review them briefly here, and the voicings so that you can follow along. So the first chord would be the G flat 13th sharp 9th, which looks like this. It's basically a G flat dominant 7 shell. You hit the third above it, then you follow the top with a major chord one step above. So that is the A flat chord. So we have that tritone in the middle there. This gives us our full, or the essential notes of the dominant seventh, and we add the other colors there. Then we're going to move it down one half step to give the F 13th sharp 11 chord, same concept, an open shell in the left hand. That would be the F sharp, E flat, tritone, which is the third of the dominant, and the major chord. This would be what? A second inversion major chord on top of it, one whole step up, which is the G chord. And that gives us the two important chords. And then we've got the G 13th flat 9 sharp 11 chord. This looks like this. It would be interesting to see how we came up with this chord. This comes straight from the family of dominants. And we're going to, as I explain this to you, we have the B diminished chord, and the chords that are the dominant sevenths that are related to the D or the B diminished chord would be the A flat dominant seventh. Then we've got the D flat dominant seventh. We've got the E dominant seventh, and we've got the G. Now, if we maintain the diminished seventh in the right hand and just play diminished seventh chord, well, one note at a time below, we're gonna all get what we call it dominant 7 flat 9 chords. G dominant 7 flat 9, B flat dominant 7 flat 9, D flat 7, D flat dominant 7 flat 9, and E dominant 7 flat 9. So what we have done, we've actually combined the notes from all of some of these chords to give us this chord, and they're all covered or encased in this scale here, which is the diminished scale, or the what we call half step whole step scale. Barry Harris doesn't like that name. So here we have the G, the dominant shell, and we've got the notes from, we drop the two notes from the diminished scale. So we drop the D to the D flat, and we drop the E, the F to the E. That's the best way to look at that chord. They're all part of this scale. And the beauty about this is that this is going to take us straight to A minor or C6. Okay? Then we've got the A flat, A7 flat ninth or A flat ninth. Here we have, again, diminished seventh, the foundation, diminished seventh. We've got a B flat diminished, and we just play the note half step below. And there we have it. This would be the diminished scale that goes with this, and we have the chord A flat 9. Then the next chord we're looking at, A flat 13th flat 9. And this comes from, we have the dominant shell here, and we just start a second inversion of the chord minor third below, which is F. I use the second inversion so we get that tritone in between here. That gives our A flat 13th flat 9th. Then we've got well, we're going to be using a regular G minor 7th, and then we've got the G flat. Here we're going to have the G flat sharp 5. Yeah, G flat sharp 5 sharp 9 chord. But we're going to play this inversion. Then the strangest chord of all would be this one here. I call it a E7 sharp 5 major 7th. And this chord comes from the E7, right? The Barry Harris E dominant 7th, diminished scale. So which is basically the E7 chord, interspersed in it is the E flat diminished scale. That's how we get that diminished chord. Right? So from that scale, we can actually extract a very interesting chord. That is this chord here. And you can feel the beauty of this chord as it takes us to an A minor. All right. So when you play the G dominant 7th diminished scale, it's not very appealing by itself. But if you start it on the 4th note of the scale, it gives you a beautiful minor sound. See that? Same scale. I will be using that in this beautiful song. So let's get right into the song, and we'll first examine the original chord arrangement and then our reharmonization. So the first part goes, And the chords, the regular chords would be, which is basically the C sixth or a C, the G7th, right? Chestnuts roasting, go to the G7, on an open fire, C6, and then a lot of players do. All right, so we have C, G7, and an inversion of the C6. That's the regular version. Now we can use the family of dominants to reharmonize this. The chords related to the first C chord here, if we treat it as a dominant, 7th, we have E flat, dominant 7, we have F sharp, dominant 7th, and we have A dominant 7th. So at the point where there's like a space, we go chestnuts roasting. Alright, so chestnuts. We can actually put in a chord here, one of those. We can use one of the family of the dominants to fill in that gap there. And the one I'm going to use is the regular tritone substitution, which would be F sharp. And then we put in the, and this is where we use the G flat 13th sharp 11 chord. So we get, we drop it on half step. There we go. Chestnuts roasting on an. Then you got a regular E minor 7, open fire. We put in that chord. So we've replaced chestnuts roasting on an open fire. We replace it with chestnuts roasting on an open fire. And then we go. And here is where we use the G13th, flat 9, sharp 11. Now this chord here, it has the diminished there, which would have taken us to A minor anyhow. But we put in the added notes from the family of the dominants, the D flat and the E. So chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Then we go to Jack Frost. Jack Frost nipping at your nose. Then there's that chord. There we go. Yeah, we have that nice chord here. It's E 7 sharp 5 major 7 chord. And again, this comes from the dominant 7 diminished scale of E, which takes us to E A minor. So let's see what we got so far. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Jack Frost nipping at your nose. And for most of the song, we'll use the regular chords, the Yuletide carols being sung by a choir, and folks dress up like Eskimos. Everybody knows. Now, there's not much to be said about that. Those are just the regular chords that you'll find on any chord arrangement there. At least the one by Mel Torme and Robert Wells. They know that, and this is a movement that I learned from Barry Harris, Goes like this. So, that would be, they know that Santa's on his way. It fits right in. He's loading lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh. Right. Again, that is the diminished 7 coming right at you again. So they know that Santa, we run up here. This is really a G, actually a B flat 6th. B flat 6th, then we go to the diminished, B flat 6th, and then the diminished, right? Now you mix it up there. Look. So you run, which is more like a G minor, but then you bring in the diminished note. These are the diminished notes here. Then you go back to the notes of the 6th chord while you maintain the G. And this will take you to C. Right? They know that Santa's on his way. Then we can just do part of it. He's loading lots of toys and goodies. I use a flat this chord here, next diminished scale. Diminished chord against a C, give me flat 9. Then I just drop the 2 notes. 2 notes of the diminished chord. And up here I actually get like an A minor 7th over F, which gives me the major 9. So they know that Santa's on his way. He's loading lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh. And every mother's child is gonna spy to see if reindeer really know how to fly. And so, and you can, follow it from there. If you have any questions, just reach out to me, of any of the chords that I didn't explain, and I'll be happy to, jump right back in and put a post explaining those chords. Again, thanks for looking, and Merry Christmas. Like, subscribe, and see you again in Barry Harris Applied, or in our other series, Barry Harris Masterclass Reviews. It's a Michael Haynes saying, peace on earth, goodwill to men. Love you.